So, this is the third recording of today. Today is a good day. Today is a productive day. And afterwards, I'm gonna have to learn for my fucking driver's license, which I absolutely hate because of whatever reason. But it is just one of the things that I tremendously dislike. I don't like the theoretical learning for that. It really, I don't know why, but it pisses me off so much. Anyway, I'm willing to talk about Memento Mori. And I do want to see whether I can find some quotes here. Obviously, I'm definitely not prepared, but this is fine. History of Memento Mori. I think that I've already read that once by the dailystoic.com site. And as far as I know, there is still a video that is flagged. And I've gotten a strike because of that, because I've linked down. No, I once have gotten one, but everything was fine then in the end. Just because I've linked the Daily Stoic site. And it really was pissing me off. Well, let's see. No, let's pick this one. Oh no, it's fine, I guess. Let's see. Memento Mori quotes. It is difficult for people of advanced years to start remembering they must die. It is best to form the habit while young. Which I guess, well, I don't know. I always thought that elderly people are more, I think that they're having it in their mind. Like, okay, I know that I'm gonna die. So but I think it is still pretty productive and valuable to have that skill while you're young. You know, to prepare yourself for what is gonna come, basically. If I had my life to live over again, I would form the habit of nightly composing myself to thoughts of death. I would practice, as it were, the remembrance of death. There is no other practice which so it intensifies life. Death, when it approaches, ought not to take one by surprise. It should be part of the full expectancy of life. Again, by Muriel Spark, and there's actually a book he wrote, Memento Mori, which is 3.64, the average rating, which, it's fine. Being over 70 is like being engaged in a war. All our friends are going or gone, and we survive amongst the dead and dying as one a battlefield. What? Being over 70 is like being engaged in a war. All of our friends are going or gone, and we survive amongst the dead and dying as on a battlefield. Well, yeah. It always depends on how you think about things, of course. But I think being old isn't that easy. Even though I've gotten to understand that elderly people really don't give a shit about anything, which is amazing. I tremendously appreciate that. At least some people seem to be like that. I kind of have a feeling that the older you get, the more you give a fuck about everything. Or nothing. Well, anyway. My life is like a Memento Mori painting from European art. There is always a grinning skull at my side to remind me of the folly of human ambition. By Jan Martel. Never forget that you must die, that death will come sooner than you expect. God has written the letters of death upon your hands. In the inside of your hands you will see the letters MM. It means Memento Mori. Remember, you must die. By John Furness. Begin doing what you want to do now. We are not living in eternity, we have only this moment, sparkling like a star in our hand and melting like a snowflake. By Francis Bacon. And yeah, I think it is definitely the case. We might be having a lifetime of time, which, is quite something. A lifetime is not short at all. But, the thing is, such a lot of people are doing things they don't want to do. Such a lot of people are working on things they don't really want to work on. And it is a pity, and it really makes me sad because we are wasting our time, At least they say they don't want to do that. A lot of people do so and feel I can't. Well, I think that it, once again, comes up to your perspective. Even though it might not be your favorite job or something, you can still find good in it. You can still find purpose in it. You can still find purpose in doing it. And yeah, even if it might be difficult, just changing the perspective of how you see the job that you're doing, of how you see your life essentially as well, then you can make life and your being and your existence just way more beautiful by being okay with who you are and what your life is like. Which doesn't really mean that you shouldn't be striving for something. You shouldn't be okay with where you are. You can still excel. You can still do quite a lot of things. You can still, really create change. But do something. Don't wait. Memento Mori. Remember death. There are important words. If we kept in mind that we will soon inevitably die, our lives would be completely different. If a person knows that he will die in half an hour, he certainly will not bother doing trivial, stupid, or especially bad things during this half hour. Perhaps you have half a century before you die. What makes this any different from half an hour? Which I think is, well, by the way, Leo Tolstoy. Toy Story. Be a good person. Do things that you like to do. Don't waste your time. Don't bother doing stupid things. Time is an absurdity, an abstraction. The only thing that matters is this moment. Jonathan Nolan. Death, when it approaches, ought not to take one by surprise. It should be part of the full expectancy of life. Without an ever-present sense of death, life is insipid. Whatever this means, let's actually check it out. By Muriel Spark, by the way. Tasteless, flavorless, unflavored. Yeah, actually, I don't know, like that. There must always be contrast. Life, death, cold, warm. One without the other wouldn't exist. Memento Mori and obey the Lord. Art and religion love the sober chord. Robert Frost. Believing the lie that time will heal all wounds is just a nice way of saying that time deadens us. Jonathan Nolan, once again. It is a nostalgic time right now, and photographs actively promote nostalgia. Photography is an elegiac art, a twilight art. Most subjects photographed are just by virtue of being photographed, touched with pathos. All photographs are a memento mori. To take photograph is to participate in another person's mortality, vulnerability, mutability. Precisely by slicing out this moment and freezing it, all photographs testify to time's relentless melt. Well, yeah, photos are actually a pretty good way to capture a very second, because we can. I think you can accomplish anything if you're willing to pay the price. Vince Lombardi. Yeah, I would say so as well. We are warned by the word both of our duty, our danger, and our remedy. On the sea of life, there would be many more wrecks if it were not for the divine storm signals which give to the watchful a timely warning. The Bible should be our mentor, our monitor, our memento mori, our remembrancer, and the keeper of our conscience, by Charles Spurgeon. You could also take the Quran or another religious writing or piece of work. This is not my opinion, by the way. This is just an article that I'm checking out and that I'm reading. I may not be the most religious person, but I definitely think it is a good thing. It can be a good thing for some people, and I don't want to, to a pretty big part, I don't want to talk about it because I think that it is a very sensitive subject, and people can really easily be hurt when I say something wrong or something in a way that that comes across as something specific, even though I didn't initially meant it to be like that. Anyway, to take a photograph is to participate in another person. Well, I've already, in a sense, Open City is a kind of Wunderkammer, one of those little rooms assembled with bric-a-brac by Renaissance scholars. I don't mean it as a term of praise. These cabinets of curiosities contain specific sorts of objects. Maps, skulls, as Memento Mori, works of art, stuffed animals, natural history samples, and books. And Open City actually contains many of the same sort of objects. So I don't think it is as simple as literary inclusiveness. Well, I think it's not really about Memento Mori there. One of the things that we talked was this idea of Memento Mori, like the reminder of our own mortality. And so we were sort of trying to express that in our press photos. And it is one of the themes of the album Modern Vampires of the City as well. This is not a quote, but anyway. Let's actually check our Google Pictures. I know there's probably something better. I hope, at least. You could live life right now. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. Marcus Aurelius. Yeah, definitely the case. The mission is to bring peace, freedom, and above all, love to the entire world. These words remind us that our mission is urgent and that when death comes to anyone at 18 or 80, a mortal life proves to be short. We are reminded by Memento Mori to never waste a moment without advancing the mission. The fate of our children and grandchildren depends on how we use the time we are given. Memento Mori, my favorite ones because your time on this earth is brief. Arise and be all that you dream. Please do so. Please make something great. Don't have too much time. Be patient, but you don't have too much time. Memento vivere, memento mori. Remember to live before you remember that you have to die. Well, it's actually also good. Life asked death, why do people love me, but hate you? Death responded, because you are a beautiful lie, and I am a painful truth. Yeah, kind of. Believing the lie that is time. Oh, I've already read that one. I look at people getting old, memento mori. I look at the people getting old and understand them well. I feel their fears of being old because I am old. I have lived that period, there is nothing to fear. You're only coming closer to the death. Each human will taste the death at the end. Remember the death. By Nisrin? Yeah, being old is actually hella nice to some degree. If you're able to, well, I do have to say, Memento Mori also gets me to think about being old, and also gets me to think about living healthy, not doing shit and so on and so forth, because guess what? The healthier I live, the longer I can live, and the unhealthier I live, the less I can live, quite. Because obviously, I'm going to have just some diseases, I'm going to not be in a good shape, I'm not going to be able to do those things that I want to do if I'm not, if I'm not taking care of myself physically, but also mentally, by the way. The most dangerous risk of all, the risk of spending your life not doing what you want on the bet you can buy yourself the freedom to do it later. I gotta have to say, these things and reading those things really gets me to, well, I don't actually care if I'm gonna be rich in the end. I've initially had this, and I think that I'm still having it, this goal of being rich for the sake of being rich, just because. Just because not everyone is able to do so, just because not everyone was able to accomplish that, and so on and so forth. But the thing is, I know that it's not going to make me particularly happy, And why should I do it then? If it is also not giving me particular freedom, like it can give you freedom, the freedom to do everything that you want to do and not having to do this 9-to-5 job, of course. But on the other hand, you could also just be working on something that is not going to make you quite a lot of money, that you tremendously enjoy and you love every single day because you're doing what you like to do. And I don't know, if you're your own boss by, having your own company, your own small business, you don't have to make much, But then you might be able to get somebody to run your business and then live off of just the earnings. And well, maybe you're not particularly well, maybe you're not going to have a villa, but you're probably going to do quite well. And that's fine, and then you have a really great life. It's like the fisherman story, like the fisherman fishing and then somebody approaching him and being like, well, why don't you just have a company? Why don't you just do this and that and these and those, so that you have your free time for fishing? And in the end, realizing that what the whole story leads to is him fishing, what he's doing right now. So why the fuck would he be doing something if he can fish right now? It is an interesting thing, a pretty good story. I can recommend it. The last one. A life well lived requires discomfort, sacrifice, and pain. In other words, embracing death before it embraces us. With that being said, I'm going to see you the next time. Please take care, stay safe. I'm going to see you the next time. Bye-bye.